Right. Hi guys, I am going to be cooking up a storm today, and I'm making several things, but I wanted to show you very quickly how to line a cake tin. These are my two favorite methods. Now, the one that's foolproof is the one where you use paper, but I wanted to show you another way, just in case you don't have baking parchment at home, to make sure that your cakes do not stick to their pans. So this is the quickest way. So just take a square or a rectangle of paper and fold it so that you make sort of a cone shape, and then pop it sort of into the center of your tin, push it out and make a little mark. Right, so you've got that. You've got a little guideline, cut, and then when you open it up, you have paper that fits your tin. Right, so that's the first thing. Now, second tip is my mum always used to keep the foils, and she just used to throw them into her freezer, and whenever she made cake she just used this to grease. But you can just use a piece of parchment paper, or I use my fingers, and you are going to rub that on the inside of your tins. Make sure that you get all the way into the edges, all the way up the sides, and then your parchment paper goes into the bottom. Right? Make sure that you've got it nicely into the edges. Could have cut that a tiny bit smaller, right? And then just move your paper, the grease-free paper around so that you're using all. There you go. Then, if you don't have grease-proof paper, this is another way, and I'm going to show you in my video that I'm doing for the Victoria sponge how these come out of the tins. So you'll be able to see what the end of the investigation as well, if you watch the other video, or I might just add it to this one anyway. Right, so this one I'm going to grease, and I'm going to grease it really well, and I'm going to make sure I get all the way up the sides. Right, and then what I have here is a little bit of flour. So I'm going to take the flour, sprinkle it into the bottom, and then I'm going to tap the tin and shake it, and then I'm going to tap it so that it goes up the sides. Like that, so that I've got all the way around, and then any excess is just going to go into the bin. Right, so there we have our two ways of lining a cake tin, and I will add the results at the end of the video. Right, so this is the cake out of the oven, and I wanted to show you how to tell if your cake is ready without sticking anything in it. So number one, when you touch your cake, it bounces back. So it's like a little sponge, so it bounces back. If it leaves a dent, then your cake is not ready. The second sign is that it's pulling away. You can see here, it's pulling away from the edge. So it is no longer attached to the side of the tin. Right, so that's your second one. Your third one is obviously color. Now, my oven was a little bit hot. I'm still getting used to my oven because I got a new oven. So it's a little bit darker than I would have liked, but it's not bad. Then the other way is your nose. So obviously you can start smelling a cake when it's done. Now, I'm going to show you how to take it out, and I'm also going to show you the results of the two ways that we greased the tin. So this is the one with just the flour. You can see that on the side. And this is the one with the paper. Now, there are a couple of things that we need to do. You need to make sure that your cake is loose from the sides of the tin. And if your cake is ready, it should be. Now, I'm just sliding this around, and I've left them to cool about 2 or 3 minutes on the edge here. So I'm literally just taking this. And because I didn't get a lot of cake mixture on the side of my tins, this is actually a very easy thing to do. Now, there's two ways you can do the next bit. I'm quite confident, but if you are not as confident, then you need to get somebody to help you do this next part. So I don't want this part of my cake on these little ridges, because this is going to be your presentation. This is how you are going to present your cake, and you don't want these little lines all over the top, these little lines all over the top of your cake. So you're going to take your cloth, nice widespread hand so that you're supporting your cake. You're going to flip it over and you're simply going to pull the pan off. Take the paper off. Right, give it some more support just with your hand and turn it the right way so that this side that you're not going to see is on the bottom. Now that was the paper one, so see how easily that one came out. And now this one is the one with the flour. Look how easily that came out. I didn't have to do a thing. But you do have to make sure, everybody, that you grease it and that you put enough flour on the bottom of the tin, sorry. And then you need to leave that to cool down until it is completely cool before you decorate, especially if you're using cream or buttercream, because it will just melt into the cake.